interesting.
Yes. So I no longer pick up at the airport. Oh, I stopped doing that about over 2 years ago.
Yeah, that would be hectic.
That would be the worst.
It wasn't so bad at first because the novelty of rideshare when I first started doing it was brand new. I started doing it about a year after they got to this town and opened up at the airport. Well, I was actually I was right then when they had been in town for I'm supposed to go to the desert and let's see, they had been in this state for a year and then I started driving, and during the time I started driving I remember getting the text, the airport is open to us, Lyft is open to pick up at the airport, and it was like a big celebration. And it's because the taxi cab industry had bought us being able to pick up at the airport.
Yeah.
So I started driving right when we opened up at the airport, but it was a
novel.
year. Yeah, but it was a year after the city was opened up to rideshare. And so people were so, excited about having another mode of transportation. People no longer had to rent vehicles, if they came from out of town like before, or you no longer had to rely on a friend or relative to be freed up to come pick you up, whether it was during the day or 1 in the morning, your flight got in, whatever the reason, or you certainly weren't, at the mercy of the cabs.
Yep.
So people were really appreciative of the service at first. Then they started getting to the point where it wasn't so new anymore. Then they, started figuring out kind of human nature on the dark side, how to figure out how to get over on, So you had people giving us low ratings just so that Lyft would say, oh, here, you can have some discounts off of your next ride because of that terrible ride you have, the dirty car or whatever. So those kind of things started to happen.
They're not going to let that really hot pink.
I know
Just
this,
I see all the time over here.
and
It's right there.
it got
And that's
to a
it.
point where you dreaded.
That's what they call it. Pepper Bismol or burger.
Well, that's really frustrating.
Well, it's bad if you know you didn't deserve it. If you know you cleaned your car.
If anybody ever says that your car's dirty, I will go vouch for you on this.
Bright yellow, I'm going to go with their color. They're not going to let me do that in HOA.
That's why
I can paint like a table, bright yellow, and pull the
that's
colors
what
in
I
that
mean.
way.
And then
like
people in general, the airports, they were mean, and then next thing you know, there was the fast forward to the pandemic, and then, and then 3 months later, the city was shut down for 3 months, then it opened up, but the mask mandate was still in effect for at least another year after that. And so it said that on public transportation, people had to wear their mask.
Absolutely.
So, matter of fact, you had to check the box that you could wear your mask before you could even complete or be allowed to complete the request,
for the ride.
Yes. And so, there I was driving up to people to pick them up, and they either had their mask in their hand or they weren't wearing it, and I would just cancel the rides.
Yeah.
And then there were the people that, it was great if I canceled the ride, which is why Uber kicked me off of their platform, because I was canceling rides too often because of those very people that were lying. They told the app that they would wear a mask, and then I drove all the way to them, and I'm an old lady. I'm 66, and I have a lung condition, an autoimmune condition that's not contagious though, but it's a remission. So the last thing I needed to do was, to
get sick.
and the COVID virus, it attacked the respiratory system. So, that wasn't fair to me.
No,
that, people wouldn't be, doing what they said they would do.
And it was because I was going to school in Arlington during 2020.
Where are you?
I was living in a hotel and using rideshare. And I always had a mask on because that's kind of who I am.
You were,
Like, it was definitely an important thing to do, and especially like in those moments, and that was like...
Yeah, well, you were law-abiding.
Well, and it was just a
etiquette.
courtesy, like, to everybody else in the world.
I won't be doing that.
Yes.
So
I wanted, before I forget, I would like to thank King Andy for being the perfect passenger.
I try to be.
And you and your guests, because for one, you are wearing a seat. You have a photo of yourself on the app.
I do.
And very few people bother to have a photo at all, let alone of their own face.
So they don't know how to find. Like, how do you find them when they're there? Like,
Yeah.
you can see. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a whole bunch
Oh
of
my
people. Yeah, so some people, if they bother at all, they'll have a photo of their cute animal, and I love animals. I have them myself, or of a beautiful sunset, or dazzling daffodils in their yard, or
But
a
not their
scrumptious-looking cake, but not their face. Even a service animal that's going on the ride, I could accept that. But the animal's nowhere in sight usually.
Right.
And then, of course, you're wearing a seatbelt, and your guests are wearing a seatbelt, and not many people bother to even put on a seatbelt. And guess what? Almost nobody does both of them. So congratulations are in order. Yay! Hip hip hooray! Yay for
Thank
Andy
you.
and his guests.
And you're a
Andy.
5-star passenger.
I'm a
Yes.
5-star passenger.
Yes, 5
That's,
star.
I'm very
I
proud of
believe
my
in being
5-star
respectful
passenger.
and responsible.
You're what?
I'm proud of my 5-star passenger. I check it every day to make sure it stays 5 stars.
Good for
That I
you.
whenever I'm on vacation.
Good for you.
I ride like I would want someone to ride in my vehicle.
Exactly.
I didn't know there was a way you could check it. There wasn't always a way.
No.
Because
there wasn't.
I've had people say, I only get to see my rating once a year at Christmas time. And I thought, and this was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So they've been making, thank goodness, they've been
Yeah.
making some, positive changes, that are for user friendliness,
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, it's gotten dangerous. And then remember the reports on the news about people, and I think it was mostly the news out here though, where people refused to comply with the mask mandate at the airport, and they would get in brawls at the airport, and even assault flight attendants who asked them to put their mask on. Remember that?
Yep.
With those same kind of mean, arrogant, disrespectful, entitled people who were on the airport, who would dare risk that on the airport, knowing there could be some marshals, at the federal marshals, when the plane landed to come and arrest them. Those same kind of mean people I had to encounter at the airport.
Yeah.
So that's when I said, okay, no
airport.
no more. And then about 3 months ago, I decided no more picking up on the strip, because too many people would have open alcoholic beverages, and that's illegal.
Yeah.
So the safe place to pick up is in the town.
That's good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I just love it.
I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad at least it's like a good area for you.
Yes.
It's better.
That's
There's a higher probability that I'll pick up decent, people who were raised right and, appreciate a ride.
Oh, I appreciate a
Yeah.
ride.
This is my
Always appreciate a ride.
Love rideshare. I do. This is like my husband was asking, like, you talk to them all the time from the start to the end every time, because I love it. I love getting to know
I
people.
do too.
So
I love it too.
I've learned so much about just random
You-
people through my whole life.
Oh, I learned so much too.
It's great. I
Oh,
love it.
from people that I pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's no way I could have been doing this job for about 7 years and still enjoy it unless, one, I love people, and two, I love driving. It
Yeah.
won't work if one out of two won't work.
Nope.
You'll be miserable.
Right.
I've had people say, oh, but I don't like strangers in my car. I've had people say that, who I might have suggested, you want to do rideshare? Oh, no, because I don't like people that are strangers in my car. And
Yeah.
oh, okay. And it's like, to me, people are family if they're good.
100%.
That's it. It's like, it's not a matter of, you're not my same race, or, or you're not down with, carjackings like I am. No, there are some people that are like that. Criminals like each other, but maybe not, because they said there's no, what is that saying that they said there's no honor among thieves or something
Yes,
like
that's
that.
right.
So they don't really like each other either.
No.
But they like each other better than they like honest people.
Yeah.
People that care about others. People who probably pray to God. They don't like us
rides you've had. What are like the bad rides you've had?
I'll tell you the very first bad ride that I've ever, the ride itself wasn't bad. It was just the rating afterwards. Do you know somebody gave me a 1-star rating because they said I was too nice?
Too nice?
Yes.
How does that work?
And Lyft let that stand.
That's
They let it
hilarious.
stand?
Yes. They
You were
didn't.
too nice.
You were too
Yeah,
nice.
and she gave a whole dissertation.
About
a long dissertation. I'm like, what? And
Like,
so,
Yeah, that's
That's
that
ridiculous.
nice
That
kind of a
is-
situation.
I don't even remember everything. It's been 7 years ago.
That is that is the craziest.
Yeah, that is
thing.
a
It
crazy
That's
It
thing.
is.
bizarre.
Then there was another guy. There were 2 guys I picked up one night. This is back in my picking up
On
in
the
the
strip?
strip days and at
Mhm.
night, you know. And one guy, and I didn't have this vehicle. I had just a regular sedan at the time.
Mhm.
So I picked up 2 guys, and both of them were nice, but one was intoxicated and he was obnoxious. So the nice guy sat up front with me,
Mhm.
and then no sooner than I picked him up, the guy in the front said, "I got to use the bathroom." And I said, "Okay." So I took him to a restaurant, a little fast food place called Checkers, where I knew he could go in there and use the bathroom, and if he wanted to, leave a tip, he could, but it's not a big deal. You can just go in and out. And then while he was in the place using the bathroom, his friend was catcalling out the
Oh,
car. I said, you can't do that, because I know they arrest people for soliciting out here. So people get it twisted and think
That you're
that-
trying to get.
well, no, they think that because you're in Vegas, it's okay to do it, but you can't do it in Las Vegas proper. Prostitution is legal outside of Las Vegas, like in Pahrump or in Nye County. So I said, you can't do that. You can't catcall. He goes, I wasn't talking to them. You thought I was hollering at them. I wasn't. Because but he basically said he liked guys and he wasn't hollering at the girls. Okay?
He was catcalling guys.
Was there guys around that he was catcalling?
Yeah, there were some guys. But I just assumed he was. I said, I don't care what you do or what you like. You can't do that.
It's true.
The
You
police
cannot
don't
do that.
care. The
There's
police don't
no
care if it was
differentiation.
girls or guys, whoever you were catcalling to. So that was a crazy ride.
I love it.
Yeah.
That must have been wild.
Yeah, it was. Because I had to tell him, no, I don't care. I don't care who it was you were catcalling to or who you like, what you like. I don't care. You can't do that. I was just trying to save him, from any, undercover that might be around. You never know.
Right? Maybe the person he was catcalling is undercover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because one time I was getting off work because I worked at a hotel downtown, the Fremont Street Hotel. And I walked down Fremont Street and got to the edge of Las Vegas Boulevard and said, and got to the edge of the sidewalk, and the bus I was going to catch was to the left. And some guy in this old kind of car, it wasn't really beat up, but it could have used a fresh paint job. It was just an
Right.
older model car. And he had a beard and goes, "You want to ride?" And I
No.
said, "I don't accept rides with strangers." And so he goes, I said, "But thanks anyway." So he drives on, and then a bicycle cop gets on the car, and I was sitting behind the bus driver. He says, "What did he say to you?" And I said, "Well, he asked me if I wanted a ride." And then he said, "And then what did you say?" And I said, "I told him I don't accept rides from strangers." He goes, "Okay, let me see your ID." Because he wanted to check to see if I'd ever been in trouble for solicitation before.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I had to show my ID and give him my social security
Oh my
number.
gosh.
He ran a check on me, and of course I didn't see him again because I'm clean. I've never been in trouble for that. But as the bus that I was sitting on, because it was on a layover, as it started to go, guess who was sprawled out on the hood of their car?
Well,
Yes, it was him.
that's hilarious.
He's been in trouble for solicitation before.
Oh my gosh.
And even though I said I I don't accept rides with strangers. If I had ever been in trouble,
Yeah, you would have been.
yes, they would have assumed I said, dude, I'll meet you in 5 blocks over there at the McDonald's. I'm going to stay on this bus, but I'll meet you over there. You know?
Huh.
Yeah, the police never would have believed that I said that to him. If I'd ever been in trouble, I would have been arrested too.
Oh my gosh.
That was
You don't
a crazy
need that.
thing.
Yeah. No one
Certainly
wants to be
don't need
arrested.
that.
I picked up a guy today and a girl, and I shouldn't have gone this far. But what happened was, I thanked the girl for having a photo of herself, but she wasn't seatbelted.
Mhm.
The guy was seatbelted, but no sooner than I said that, he had taken the strap that was across his chest and put it underneath his armpit. So I said to him, listen, it's better that if you're not going to wear it correctly, it's better that you don't wear it at all, because way back when, and he looked away when I was talking to him, and I said, oh, you're not interested. He goes, yes, I am. And I said, okay, listen, I'm 66 years old. And way back in the day, seatbelts were required in cars, and all they had was the hip seatbelt.
Mhm.
And so in collisions, people's weights weren't restrained, equally, and there was so much strain at the hips that depending, and mostly when people got hit from behind, they ended up being paralyzed because of the impact. That's
Yeah.
why they came up with the shoulder, the
Shoulder
chest
strap.
restraints. So it's better. It would be better if you didn't wear one at all, if you weren't going to wear it correctly. So I guess he felt guilty and needed to explain to me why. That he goes, I just want to tell you, I got arrested for not wearing a seatbelt, and that's all I did. I just didn't have a seatbelt on, and I just got out of jail. I had been in jail for 30 days, and I just got out of jail. And I said, well, the laws are kind of crazy out here, but it is the law no matter where in the U.S. that you got to wear a seatbelt. But let me ask you this. Why
the
would you
one-
take a chance on not wearing a seatbelt again? Oh, I don't care. I'm on house arrest now. That wasn't right just before you guys.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I
so
kid you
funny.
not.
That's crazy.
I dropped him off and hope I don't get 1 star because I was preaching to him about the importance of wearing a seatbelt, because I've had that happen too. Now,
I'll be giving you 5.
oh, thank you, and likewise, you guys are just wonderful. Thanks for hearing
Yeah,
the stories.
thank you so
100%.
much.
Crazy stories.
You got some
I love
fun
it.
stories.
Yeah, there's
We've been
more.
doing
If
it
we
for a
had time,
while,
there's
so-
sure, there would be more if we had more time.
Well, I
But
love it.
anyway, here we are, safe and sound and in
Well,
one piece.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much for using
All
Lyft.
right.
And I'm going to try to get out of the lane of traffic, because I did get a $50 ticket for dropping off, picking up in the lane of traffic. And the ticket got mailed to my house before.
Oh, wow.
So, it's out of safety because it's illegal to impede another vehicle.
Close traffic.